Watch more programs like this on cable and stream with PCN Select. Subscribe at PCNTV.com.
Hello, I am Brigadier General John Buford. I'm going to visit with you a little bit about the third day action between cavalry forces of the Confederate States of America and the United States of America. I am the commander of 1st Division, United States Cavalry, Army of the Potomac. My division was not here at Gettysburg on the third day of the battle, but I do know what went on. I'm very close friends with the other division commanders. On that third day, we had been recalled back to Westminster to refit and rest, simply because since Chancellorsville, about May 5th, we had been in constant movement and contact with the enemy in skirmishes all the way through July 2nd, including the major battle at Brandy Station with over 14,000 cavalrymen on both sides engaged at Brandy Station. I don't particularly like newspaper reporters because they tell us everybody what we're doing. I don't like spies, but I especially don't like other officers who like to fancy themselves up a lot. And so at Brandy Station, it was a really entertaining thing. Even though we didn't specifically win at Brandy Station, we taught Jeb Stuart that Union cavalry is every bit as good as those Southern boys are. And we walked away from Brandy Station having captured Jeb Stuart's red silk-lined cape. It was a pretty sweet little victory that showing that dressing up fancy doesn't make you a better soldier. We had a few of those dandies within the Union ranks also, by the way, and that will come into play here in a little bit. But from Brandy Station until about midday on July 2nd, my division was constantly on the move and in contact with the enemy. We, in fact, were the 1st Division on July 2nd to actually have contact with the enemy. We had bivouacked that night in a peach orchard and wheat field along the Emmitsburg Road, and we saw the movements of the Confederate Corps under Longstreet moving to the south. We knew there was a chance they were going to try to outflank us. We did engage them. General Sickles eventually moved his corps of infantry into that wheat field and peach orchard area. We were recalled, sent back to Westminster to refit and rest. I did leave 2 regiments of cavalry with General Sickles, though, to protect his flank. Anyway, on that day of July 3rd, the Confederate attack from the west under Generals Pickett and Trimble was supposed to break the Union line, attacking from Seminary Ridge, but Stuart was posted to the east of our Union lines to try and either exploit that breakthrough of the infantry or, at a minimum, to hold up and capture the Union Army as we were expected to be retreating. However, we had posted General Gregg entire division. There were 3 divisions in the Union Cavalry Corps. One of them served under General Gregg down on the Hanover Road and the Baltimore Pike, and they were there to protect the flank of the Union Army in case the Confederates did try to outflank us. Well, when Stuart showed up coming around the backside of our line, General Gregg started to engage them. The Runnels Farm east of town here was one of the primary sites of the engagement between our cavalry and the Confederate cavalry. One of the key elements of the Confederate plan on July 3rd was for Jeb Stuart's cavalry to, in fact, make a surprise attack on the rear of the Union line. However, for some unknown reason, he ordered his artillery to fire off 4 rounds prior to the start of his attack, which alerted General Gregg to the presence of the Confederate cavalry and allowed them to get deployed in time to begin the thwarting of Stuart's planned attack on the rear of the Union line. Had Stuart not done those 4 artillery shots, the Union cavalry may not have known of his presence north of the Runnels Farm, and he may have been able to sweep his way through and hit the rear of the Union line. So those 4 artillery rounds, we became aware of his presence and were able to engage him before they got to where they wanted to be. There is several notable charges of cavalry. One of the unique things was that General Gregg thought he needed more men, and so he called up General Custer, who served under General Kilpatrick in that division. Gregg called up Custer, said, "Bring your brigade up here to help me," without letting Kilpatrick know. So Custer had redeployed to serve under General Gregg when Kilpatrick found out that one of his brigades was gone. He ordered Custer back. Well, Custer knew there would be some action up there where General Gregg was at, and he didn't want to go, so he asked General Gregg to please order him to stay under General Gregg's immediate command at that time. During that time, there were several phases of that cavalry battle. Each time the Confederates were thwarted, they didn't make a breakthrough. But there was 3 significant charges, all led by General Custer: the 7th Michigan, the 5th Michigan, and the final charge with the 1st Michigan was, it's told that General Custer raised his sword and said, "Come on, you Wolverines, follow me," and they charged again. And at that point, the Confederate cavalry was no longer able to entertain the vision of breaking through. Their purpose and role of either breaking into the Union lines or of capturing retreating Union soldiers was totally thwarted, and General Stuart started to remove himself. Nobody can deny General Custer's courage or bravery or enthusiasm for battle, but at the same token, he frequently wanted to make certain he was the center of attention. His clothing and his attire was altogether different than mine would have been, and certainly not approved by me, but you cannot deny the courage and enthusiasm for combat that Custer had.